Everybody wants to live a meaningful, fulfilling life, a happy life. And with a recent illness that has struck one of my family members, thankfully they seem to be okay now. It's given me some time to reflect on this. And I'm turning 27 in just a couple months, and I know I haven't lived a life full of experiences to be giving you advice on, but I've read a book or two, and today we're going to be taking some lessons from one of my favorite books, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. We're going to wait for this dog to stop barking before I finish reading the story to you guys. And we're back. You can see I got all these sticky notes here because there's so many lines that I absolutely loved. So I'm going to read a snip to you guys, and we're going to hope that I don't get copyright strikes from this. I saw one guy. We're going to knock on wood, okay? So one guy read the entire book and put it on YouTube, so I should be safe. Here we go. A certain shopkeeper sent his son to learn about the secret of happiness from the wisest man in the world. The lad wandered through the desert for 40 days and finally came upon a beautiful castle high atop a mountain. It was there that the wise man lived. Rather than finding a saintly man, though, our hero, on entering the main room of the castle, saw a hive of activity. Tradesmen came and went. People were conversing in the corners. A small orchestra was playing soft music, and there was a table covered with platters of the most delicious food in that part of the world. The wise man conversed with everyone, and the boy had to wait for 2 hours before it was his turn to be given the man's attention. The wise man listened attentively to the boy's explanation of why he had come, but told him that he didn't have time just then to explain the secret of happiness to him. He suggested that the boy look around the palace and return in 2 hours. Meanwhile, I want to ask you to do something, said the wise man, handing the boy a teaspoon that held 2 drops of oil. As you wander around, carry this spoon with you without allowing the oil to spill. The boy began climbing and descending the many stairways of the palace, keeping his eyes fixed on the spoon. After 2 hours, he returned to the room where the wise man was. Well, asked the wise man, did you see the Persian tapestries that are hanging in my dining hall? Did you see the garden that it took the Grand Master 10 years to create? Did you notice the beautiful parchments in my library? The boy was embarrassed and confessed that he had observed nothing. His only concern had been not to spill the oil that the wise man had entrusted to him. Then go back and observe the marvels of my world, said the wise man. You cannot trust a man if you don't know his house. Relieved, the boy picked up the spoon and returned to his exploration of the palace. This time observing all the works of art on the ceilings and the walls. He saw the gardens, the mountains all around him, the beauty of the flowers, and the taste with which everything had been selected. Upon returning to the wise man, he related in detail everything he had seen. But where are the drops of oil I entrusted to you? Asked the wise man. Looking down at the spoon he held, the boy saw that the oil was gone. Well, there is only one piece of advice I can give you, said the wisest of wise men. The secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world and never to forget the drops of oil on the spoon. Dramatic close. Wow, guys, what a story. So, the lesson that I've taken here is that we need a balance in our life. We could have our focus and our blinders on and just follow that goal. We may accomplish a lot in our life because of that, but at the same time, we'll have missed all the great experiences and relationships that we could have along the way. In contrast, you might just be focused on your surroundings with no goal that you're working towards. You're like a dog with your nose up, just going to whatever smells good, and you end up lost. What you want is a balance where you know what your goal is, but at the same time, you're practicing mindfulness and living in the present day, appreciating all the small experiences and all the relationships that you have. And I can say I've been on both sides where during the pandemic and lockdown, I was really focused on work and I had these side projects. Shout out to Open Harvest, by the way. And I wasn't able to appreciate much else other than a couple of relationships. But when the pandemic was over, then I started spending a lot of my time with my friends and going to the movie theaters and traveling to different countries and planning trips. And I was losing sight of my goal. And then I read this book, and this book reminded me of my focus and it grounded me, which has made all the difference. I hope this story has made a difference for you too, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening. Bye. I just want to show you guys the raccoon that was here while I was recording.